In an age of miniatures abundance, endless options and limitless potential, there is but one burning question. Who makes the best Space Marine? This question was put forth to the once-in-a-six-eyed Discord server, and the response was disappointing. Folks were quite quick to passionately argue their favorite sculpts, kits, and artists, but perhaps the question was phrased poorly. Aesthetically, each of you will have your own favorites, and it is of course a completely subjective thing, but what we are talking about is a much more objective measure of what makes one Space Marine better than another. In our modern age of man, where each of us can now embrace our inner tech priest and deploy our own personal miniature manufactorum, today the question shall be answered: who makes the best Space Marines for 3D printing?
The way this works is dead simple. Space Marines that come with everything we need, are packaged up nicely, are easy to manage and print without flaws. These are S-tier Space Marines. We like S-tier Space Marines. Space Marines that still print fine but aren't without one or two small complaints, things that could be tightened up and improved. These are A-tier Space Marines. Still good, and at the end of the day, A-tier Space Marines should make for happy printing. Finally, Space Marines that need lots of work, fail partially or catastrophically during printing due to issues with the files. These are B-tier Space Marines. You're going to need to put a lot of work in if you want to print B-tier Space Marines, so newbies, you've been warned. Who gets the #1 spot? Okay, we got our unsupported files, our pre-supported files, and then it looks like we have our parts broken down like this. So if you want to build out a bunch more and pose them slightly differently, you can. So that's cool. No renders, no Lychee files or Chitu files, or whatever these were supported in. We don't have the source files, so we can't modify these supports easily if we want to. That sucks. Yeah, file organization's not great. Let's take a closer look at one of these in 3D Builder. Okay, we got minor errors. That's pretty common. Ooh. Is it just me, or are these supports incredibly chunky for this particular model? I think these are going to be leaving a lot of scarring. I'm seeing a lot of supports that don't even need to be there, for example, like this one. There's no island here, so it's just a structural support, but then does it need a structural support there? Probably not. You should always put them where they're not going to be seen. I don't see any obvious unsupported islands. That's good. That's the main. Look at that, though. The side of that support is going to completely fuse to the wrist there. That's not great. I'm not liking what I'm seeing here. I think these supports are going to be an absolute bear to try and remove. But God, okay, we'll try. You know, it's hard to tell when you're looking at a 3D model like this on the computer screen just how big or small it is. Like, scale gets lost really easily in this kind of context. So the best thing to do is take these files, dump them into Lychee, slice them and print them, and then we'll have a closer look then. So at first glance, this print looks great. Everything is there and there's not a single disconnected support tip in sight. Always a good first sign. However, as predicted, these supports were an absolute bitch to try and remove.
Boo! Track the minis, what the fuck?
I then gave the hot water method a try, which did help a little bit, but it was still a massive struggle to try and remove these supports, and it was so bad in fact, I didn't even bother removing them all, as a bunch of these supports just completely fused to the models. Sadly, because there's no slicer files included, these can't be modified, and the end result of this print is that these models are completely unusable, and I would consider this a failed print and a waste of resin. Finally, not all of the models are pre-supported either, only the pre-posed ones, so I'm sorry Tractor Minis, these Void Shark Gunners are an unusable B tier. By the way, if you're new here, miniraider.com is a free resource that I started as a place for us tabletop gamers to leave feedback on the printability of our favorite creators' 3D models. The goal here is to help raise the overall quality of the print files produced for commercial purposes in our tabletop hobby. As anyone who's been 3D printing a while knows, not all pre-supported files are created equal, and some of them can be rather troublesome. Now, recently Mini Raider has had this gorgeous facelift and boost in features, and she's hungry for new ratings, so I invite anyone with a 3D printer and some experience printing tabletop miniatures to join me in leaving ratings. Now, who's next on the chopping block? No renders. That's a shame. Uh-oh, we got no Lychee files. We got unsupported islands. I think this might be an old... Yeah, look at that. Like, that's got to have a little support on it. A little detail support here as well on the sides. Yeah, I think this might be an old Redmakers file, because I spotted back here, January 2022, this little upgrade kit. So the rest of this kit presumably came before that. And I don't think they've gone back and re-supported these, because I've been critical on this channel before of Redmakers supports, but I've also given them a lot of praise because we printed Redmakers minis from a little over a year ago and their supports had improved massively. So unfortunately it looks like they haven't gone back and done their back catalog. So really unfortunate to see that. I'm still going to try sending it. We'll see what comes out. What's annoying about not having a render is I don't even know what these look like. I have to go to the website or sort of figure it out by looking at the pre-supported files. Well, I guarantee you those mutton chops don't turn out that good. Bloody hell. Oh, these old Redmaker supports are so bad. At least there's no minor errors. I really appreciate that they've taken the time to repair those for us. So fresh off the printer, everything looks pretty good here at first glance. Everything is there, we've had no major print failures, off to a good start. These supports come away from the models nice and easy. They held on just enough to ensure that the parts print, but not so much that they were at all difficult to remove or left any horrendous scarring. And it looks like these particular models are a great example of why unsupported islands aren't always a bad thing, as the detail loss in this case is so small and insignificant, it's barely noticeable. And that's why unsupported islands are just a minor issue and not an automatic B tier. They're only cause for a B tier rating when they result in cured resin left behind in your vat after a print, in which case that's a print failure. So for the second time here on this channel, Redmakers have earned themselves an A tier rating. Not too bad, Redmakers. Now let's just start getting those slicer files included, yeah? Please and thank you. Okay, let's take a look at our next victim. And right off the bat, there's no file organization. Come on, Moid. What is this? This hurts after how good your last release was, the Griffin jet bikes. That was so well done. I don't know if this is maybe like an older kit from you, but you've just got everything dumped in the one folder here. Your unsupported files, your pre-supported STL files, and your original Lychee supported files. Really grateful to see the Lychee files. That's flippin' excellent. But there's also no renders, which is kind of a shame. Like, it would have taken you 2 seconds to drop the renders in here, so got to dock a point for that. Sorry, Boyd. Full disclosure, these files are available this month, as well as a bunch of other epic STL files for supporters of this channel. So hurry, there's only a couple of days left this month to get them for yourself. All you got to do is head on over to buymeacoffee.com/once-in-a-six-side or patreon.com/once-in-a-six-side, or simply hit that join button down below this video and subscribe at the STL tier or higher. There's also a brilliant welcome pack stuffed with cool and interesting files, like my plain tabletop gaming base pack, and of course you'll get access to our most excellent Discord server, where we're doing fun things like print and paints every month.
Artificers Mini, Dog Factory, Hive Mind Minis, Imp 3D Sion, Moid, Neoteric Miniatures, Stoneforge, and Synergy Studio.
These are the amazing creators who have donated their miniatures this month, and there's something for everyone here. This channel is currently toning down sponsorships in favor of direct fan support, and I can't thank these artists enough for their support in making my Patreon a more valuable subscription for you and your 3D printing toolbox. So at the very least, if you can't become a member today, please check out the links for these talented creators down below in the video description, give them a follow, but otherwise, I'll see you in the Discord. Oh, and if you're an artist and you want to get involved in future months and videos, shoot me an email. I'm just looking for any like immediately obvious unsupported islands when I look at these files today. And I'm not seeing any here on this particular model, so that looks great. Let's try another one real quick. Let's try something a bit more complicated. Set of legs. There are a couple of completely superfluous supports, so I'm not a fan of that. Like here, for example, or that little tiny one in there. Like, what's even the point of that? But having said that, it does look like all of the islands have been spotted and have been supported. although maybe a little over-supported. This would have been fine without these. Those are just going to be annoying. Another good example of just a superfluous support right here, because I mean that one's not supporting an island at all, it's just supporting an overhang, but with resin and for a detail so small, it's not even, I don't even think that's necessary, because resin is just really great at overhangs and bridging. I mean, at least when we're talking about details this small. But overall, looking pretty promising. So let's slice these up and have a look. While these supports for the most part came away with relative ease, they are perhaps a little on the over-supported side. I definitely recommend the hot water method for these Iron Legionaries. Most of the supports were pretty easy to remove, but there were just one or two that I struggled with a little bit and that needed a little bit of extra cleanup afterwards. But thankfully none of the parts suffered any noticeable support scarring, and overall I don't have too many gripes here, and I'm completely happy with these prints. Good job, Moid. Solid A tier. Alright, moving on. This is a fun one. There's no renders straight off the bat. That sucks. Looks like we got no slicer files either, be it Lychee, Chitubox, or whatever else. Everything's just been dumped into these folders, and please tell me. Oh god, no, no. No, I have to support them myself. Fuck. Okay, so the point of Mini Raider, if it wasn't clear, was to help newbies identify which miniatures are going to be, you know, the most print-friendly and which ones they should stay away from. Even veterans, you know, sometimes you just want something easy to print. You don't want all the bullshit. But here we've got bullshit. B tier doesn't mean bad, necessarily. It can just mean hard work and expertise required. I'm just going to do one. I don't want to support a bunch of these, so I'm just going to do one. So anyway, let's take this Maid Marine and let's chuck her on her back here like this. Oh, that sounds bad. Okay, that took a while. So yeah, unfortunately, unsupported minis are an automatic B tier. Bloody fun models though. Let's all go support Soul Flamer, and hopefully they may afford a pre-supportist. Oh, which by the way, I had Max put a page here on Mini Raider for any artists who are looking for pre-supportists. I've got as many here listed as I'm aware of. If you're a pre-supportist and you're not listed here, please get in touch and I'll add you. Alright, moving on. This is an interesting one. Definitely a very unique looking Space Marine if you were to go with this particular kit. But anyway, no renders, at least in this root directory. And oh no, they're not supported again. Fuck. Why do you guys do this to me? Did I miss it? Yeah, here we go. So it's a small nitpick, but it's always annoying when you have to download the supports as a separate package, just because it's a little bit clunky, but still no renders. Like, how hard would it have been to take these beautiful renders here and put them in the folder? I feel like it's like when you unzip one of these, it's an experience, right? Yes, it's digital, but it's still an experience, just like pulling a traditional model kit off the shelf in a hobby store and bringing it home. It's got artwork on the outside, that's your renders, everything's on sprues, that's your file organization, and so on. And it looks like we do have good file organization here, which is at least a good start. We've got things broken down into their supported files and the Lychee files, which is great. Love to see that. Yeah, I'm not seeing any unsupported islands. All these details I'm pretty sure are self-supporting, just by the angle they're at relative to the ground plane. I think we're good. Oh. Yeah, it looks like it's actually sculpted with supports in mind, because I'm noticing a lot of these. See, like this here, you've got this massive fillet here, which is super conducive to 3D printing, because now this can just like print on top of itself. There might still be a tiny little island there unsupported, but that's going to be completely inconsequential. So that's looking pretty promising. Let's have a look at another one real quick, and let's have a look in Lychee actually. Because we do have these LYS files, we can be a little more analytical, which is nice. 0.4, I think 0.4 might be the biggest one. Oh no, there's a big, holy shit. I'm not a fan of this. I get it. Like, it pretty much ensures that there's definitely going to be a part here at the end of this print, but they can be an absolute bear to try and remove. And it's surrounded by these 0.40s as well. So that's going to be pretty firmly attached to those supports, that's for sure. But that's okay. We'll send it. Oh, beautiful. Ah, nice. Really, really good. Definitely on the chunkier side, these minis. But God, yeah, these parts are coming away really nicely. And they look f***ing crisp. Shouldn't swear. So, almost a perfect release here from Crimson Steel Mechworks. They've got the cloud backup through My Mini Factory, and I think the only issue may have been that there were no renders, because the files were well organized. We had the LYS files included. I didn't see any minor errors. I didn't see any unsupported islands. All the files were supported. We didn't have any print failures, and there were no major errors present. Yeah, so close. So close. Just needed those renders. But hey, A tier, very nice. Mezgeek. Alright, we got a render straight away. Beautiful. Oh wow, look at these. These would be, yes, technically Space Marines, but it's like chaos. It's fine. Oh yes, look at this. We got supported files, and we got the original LYS files. It looks like they're all bunched into singular LYS files, which is fine. But we don't have the unsupported files, which is unusual. What if we wanted them for kit bashing? You can get them. If you've got the LYS files, you can get the source files. It's not a big deal, it's just an extra step. So that's fine. We've got the main stuff that we came for. So let's take a closer look at a couple of them. Let's take a pair of legs. Okay, alright, looking good. Oh yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing here. I'm not seeing any obvious islands that have been missed. See, if you look at like this pipe here, I'm pretty sure that's all self-supporting as it's coming out of the robe. Oh man, that's horrific. Holy shit. What is going on here? There's like a guy on the like leg, fused to the leg. That's horrific. I love it. God, I should do a Chaos army, huh? Chaos is so cool. Especially with like stuff like this. Some of the 3D printed sculpts out there for Chaos are just unreal. But yeah, this is looking good. This is looking very promising. We got a big fucking hole there. What the hell? This model's hollow? That's interesting. Let's have a closer look at these in the slicer. Yeah, it looks like some of these models do have hollow sections, which is really strange. Maybe not strange. Okay, yeah, because like this leg is so chunky. Yeah, that's actually quite thoughtful. Not bad. Not bad at all. Okay, this is looking real promising. I'm not going to do all 10. I'm going to do... So these Dredge Marines have printed up perfectly. There's no failures that I can see, and all the support tips are holding on. Mezgeek. Oh, incredible. That's exactly what you want. Oh, that's so good. Hell yeah. Perfect. We might have an S tier on our hands here. Holy shit. And so if we jump over to Mini Raider here, we run through our criteria. Cloud backup, yes. Renders, yes. File organization, good. Slicer files were included. Minor errors, didn't see any. Unsupported islands, nope. Nothing consequential. Unsupported files, nope. Everything was supported. No print failures. There weren't any major errors. Holy shit. It's an S tier rating. It's the very first S tier rating I've ever given on this channel. Oh, I'm so excited. Congratulations, Mezgeek, or Mezgeek, Mezgeek. I don't know how to fucking say it. Good job. Oh, this makes me happy. Ooh, we got renders. Excellent. Love to see that. Ah, yes, look at that. Beautiful. So I know exactly what's in here. So good. Trust me, when you've got a huge collection of STL files, the inclusion of renders is a big deal. There's even bases here. That's cool. Everything has been dumped into supported and unsupported subdirectories. I'm okay with this. If we've got the Lychee files and the supported files in the same folder, that's cool because we can easily group these by type. And so here we can see all of our supported bits. Where this could have been done even better though is like some of the other packs we've seen up to this point, where you have a folder for your torsos, a folder for your legs, another for your weapons, and so on. Actually, this is a little bit annoying. Giving these files a quick look over, I couldn't see anything immediately problematic with them. Everything looks good. So I got some of them sliced up and sent to the printer. By the way, if you've been wondering about this printer, this is the Uniformation GK2. I just got it in. Seems alright. If you want to know more about it, I did a very deep dive first impressions on it. do go check that out. Fresh off the printer, the Puppets War prints look great. Everything's there. I don't see any immediate failures. All the support tips are connected, which is a great sign. Puppets War do use a very thin raft, which can make it a little tricky to get up and under them with your spatula, but not a big deal. All of these parts came away from the supports effortlessly and without any issues, and I expected as much from Puppets War miniatures. Okay, so everything with these Prime Strikers from Puppets War is perfect, except I'm really on the fence about giving them a yes for file organization, just because it was a little bit frustrating to get everything sorted out in the slicer to make sure I had everything I needed to put 5 of these models together at the end of the print. I think I'm feeling generous. I'm going to say it wasn't that big a deal. And for the most part, the file organization was good. So yeah, you know what? Yeah. I'm keeping this on yes. The files are well organized. This is an S tier. Congratulations, Puppets War. You guys definitely earned it. Phenomenal models, phenomenal sports, good stuff. Moving on. It's tabletop time. Let's have a look at some Space Bears, shall we? Right off the bat, this is looking pretty good. We got our images, and oh god, there's a lot of them. Okay, there's one way to do renders. Just renders of literally every piece in the kit. That's cool. We've got our supported STLs here, and they've included the LYS files, which is just fantastic. And file organization looks pretty good as well. Looks like these are all self-supporting. That's good. Oh, big spider on the wall. That's horrifying. So yeah, I'm not seeing any obvious unsupported islands here, which is really good. So all of the It's Tabletop Time files, that's a bit of a tongue twister. All the files were pre-supported. I didn't have any trouble figuring out what I needed for the print. And speaking of the print, it turned out perfect. There were no print failures at all. Now let's take a closer look at these supports.
That is one chill bunny. After much hard work. Okay, back to work. Very good. Absolutely perfect. Exactly what you want. Love to see that. Beautiful.
So yeah, these supports are friggin' excellent. No complaints at all. And that wraps up our ratings here nicely. S tier. Well earned, tabletop time. Okay, well, hope you enjoyed this video. I gave this one my all in an attempt to break out into wider hobby YouTube. Hopefully it worked. Please do all the engagement things to help shoot this video up the ranks. And if you haven't subscribed yet, also, if you want to help improve MiniRater, one of the new features is tags, so you can go and tag your favorite artists and help make it easier for others to find suitable models for their printing projects. We've plugged in one-page rules, game, faction, and unit naming conventions to help keep things IP friendly. Finally, don't miss out on this month's epic models. There's only a couple days left, so head on over to buymeacoffee.com/once in a six side or patreon.com/once in a six side. Become a member, and I'll see you in the Discord. Cheers and bye.